welcome back to TNT's Blues Corner. Are you still sitting on the commode somewhere watching me? Maybe in your office, or maybe you're at home, maybe it's Saturday, you know, you're having some coffee, you're sitting there in the morning before your cartoons and you're just watching me. Hey, look, there's a some kind of name in there, I can't make it out, or maybe a number. 250 maybe? I don't know what that means. But it does say February 7th, 1980. But what I brought you back here for, as I decided to start working on this thing again, is these little fret erasers. You can get them from Gibson Guitars. I'd probably recommend them there before StewMac because they're bigger and they seem to be more substantial. Gibson Guitars, check them out. They're good for a lot of different things. Cleaning stuff. It's just 1,000 grit sandpaper in a little bar. It's flexible, a little bit flexible. But what I'm doing here is I'm just cleaning off this contact. Can you see that maybe? This contact on the switch here. And by doing so, I can ensure that it's making good contact. I've already done it. It's hard to do it when the camera's here, but it's nice and shiny. Emery boards, very good for this too. Just get enough in there to kind of clean up that contact the best you can. You know, maybe this is doing nothing. Maybe I'm crazy. Probably. And also, you got your contact cleaner here. This is just Radio Shack, which has gone out of business in my area. I was starting my career, I worked in electronics, and I was making this huge board, right? And I had a bunch of solder on there, and I took some contact cleaner, and I just sprayed it all over until it was dripping off the board. I thought I wanted to make it as clean as possible. That's not good. It's not good to do that. Luckily, I was outside, but just a little squirt here and there. You'll be fine. Try not to get it on the finish. And then, I tell you, there is a really cool little get-up where you can, on the other side here of your pot, you screw it onto the pot. It's a little metal thing with threads. It comes into a tube, and then you stick that tube in the end of here, and you can spray right through the pot to clean it. It makes it a lot easier than what I'm going to have to do, which I'm not going to show you on camera because it's tedious, but just take the pots out and spray them. If in fact, I can't do it from this side. Some of these pots you can get into, there's a little opening right there you can spray into. One nice thing about doing it the other way with the little device, I think StewMac came up with it, is you blow the stuff out. Just a couple little squirts of that on here. Very careful with this, boys and girls. You don't need to use that much. Welcome back. Boy, this thing's starting to shine now. Okay, let's clean it up just a little bit more here. I mean, we've checked out the pots. I've got those cleaned out now, and they're moving really good at this point. Hopefully that'll continue. I've had some older pots like this. Just when you think you got them okay, they decide, well, I'm going to jam up on you completely again. But I think we'll be okay here, hopefully. All right, so we are cleaning up the guitar. Okay, sorry about that. I'll try never to do that again. Not likely. We're going to get this thing looking as good as we possibly can for this particular vintage guitar. And let's make sure you're still focused here. I had some issues with that. Irritating. And what do you think about the iPhone? I'd like to hear what you think, especially anybody out there who uses it to make videos. This iPhone 5, I don't have the newest one, but this 5, I'm having problems since I updated the software. Not the newest update, maybe I need that, but the last update I did with the camera not focusing, taking forever to focus, especially on a photo. I mean, I'll have to hold it there and it'll actually sit for a minute, wait, and then take the picture. And if I move, I lose it. Same way with the flash. I've been having troubles with the flash like that too for some reason. But we make do. That's all we can. That's all we can do is make do. Baby, let me be your man. Anybody know what I'm referencing there? Hint. Guy's name was Larry who wrote that song. And it's not real. Well, it is a real song, I would say, sort of, because I've heard it somewhat tried to be sung, but I don't think the melody was ever really made until, well, I don't want to give too much. Oh, Larry. Poor Larry. He met a really, really bad end. Oh, sorry, spoiler alert. But anyway, if you're an avid reader, like I'm not, you probably know what I'm talking about. Alright, so we've cleaned it up a bit more. We checked out the pickups. We found out that this is the T-top, this is some aftermarket pickup. And when we come back, we're going to discuss what else we're going to do. Maybe you'll come back and I'll be doing more cleaning with this crazy, dirty guitar. I'll see you then. Welcome back. Well, what we're doing now is I got this little pan here that I normally use to put on the radiators to make things nice and moist in here. Moist, he said moist. And we took some Soylent Green. Now we took some Simple Green, and we're just, this is hard to do. I'm not going to do this the whole way, I'm sorry, but I'm just showing you that, you know, this is what I do when I clean out these suckers. And I just get in here with my trusty little finger scrubber, dig them out. Then when I have air, which I just ran out, I then will blow out the excess stuff that gets down in there. But I'll let this sit for a little bit. Also, I'm doing the screws. Just a little test here to see if Simple Green can get some of that corrosion off the top of them, so they look a little nicer when I put them back in. But that's where I'm at right now, so I'll see you in a minute. That was almost just a minute. Oh yeah, and old toothbrushes. Not the toothbrush that you're using. Unless you got a roommate, you don't. No, don't. This wouldn't hurt anyway. Anything substantial, because it is biodegradable. I don't know if that means it's good for you, but probably not. It seems to do a good job cleaning parts, so I wouldn't drink it. But best thing to do is just get an old toothbrush, or you know, when you go to the dentist and when you leave, they give you that little thing of toothpaste and the floss you'll never use, and a generic toothbrush. That's where this one came from. I just store those up, and when I need them, I've got them, because I'm sure not going to use that on my teeth. But anyway, looks like we've got this thing pretty clean here, so we're going to get ready to get it installed back on there, and we'll talk a little bit about this one here and what type this is, and the two different types that Gibson uses, more or less, for their stop-tail type guitar. So, be right back. Well, I got you back here once more, strangely enough. Hopefully we'll have the right kind of light for this, but I just noticed something on here I don't think I've ever noticed. Let me get this to where it makes more sense to you. Alright, get in there, where you at? Come on, focus. Yes, I am pushing the screen, guys. I know most of you aren't going to be saying anything about that. Well, you might not be able to see that, but if you can, it says made in Germany. I've never seen a Nashville bridge like this made in Germany, or I just never looked. I don't know, but that's interesting. German precision, right? Okay. See you in a few. Alright, so I promised, hopefully this isn't too loud in the background here. We're going to listen to a little bit more of the Josh and Bill show. But okay, this is called a Nashville bridge here, and it differs from the Tune-o-matic a little bit. So this is an ABR1, I believe they call Tune-o-matic, and you can see how different it is, okay? Keep that in mind. And then there is a Nashville. Just a bit different. One of the main differences is how the housing is. See how that's, oh crap, sorry. See how that's solid where the screws are? See that chrome there, or metal above the screw? If you look in on the ABR, hopefully you can see that. Those screws will actually, the adjustment, the intonation adjustments can come out. That's the difference, one of the differences anyway. Some think the Nashville might be a little more solid because it's one piece, and these sit in that, and without being able to come out, these pieces here sit within the entire piece. See, it's a solid piece. Who knows, really? Anyway, back to this. So we're going to put this in now. Oh, real fast. It doesn't matter which way. I don't care who tells you. You heard it here from TNT's Blues Corner. It doesn't matter which way these go, really. I prefer them this way, and I think because I want the string to come across and not have a chance to come in contact with this piece. But really, you might find yourself in a situation where you don't have enough travel one way or the other. So how do you fix that? Turn it around. But I will always put them in this way because I believe I want that knife edge right there and not this slant to where my strings come up over the stop tail. But anyway, that's my preference. So we're just going to set this on here, and of course here is a stop tail piece, standard stop tail piece. So we're going to get that cleaned up. And before we put that on, though, we'll have to be ready for the strings, and we're not quite ready for the strings at this moment. So, picking up here a little bit more of the Josh and Bill show, live from the cave. If you haven't checked that out, it's on the channel here. A little fun. We did an impromptu jam, just playing around, basically to see how well the microphone for the iPhone would pick up, and so we just made up some stuff and jammed. And then I think the last like 4 is some stuff that I kind of been working on, but we've never played together of any account. But anyway, that's what we're listening to. Hopefully you can hear me all right. All right, get this thing cleaned up. I'm gonna have to go over here. Okay, I'm gonna get this thing cleaned up. I'll be right back. Okay, we've got it cleaned up. I'm ready to get it. Get ready to get it back on. Of course, we're going to be tightening up this, getting this thing straightened out here with the pickups. I'm going to have to find another screw here for the actual pickup so we can get it adjusted. And then I'll show you how I wire up this type of device here, stop tail piece, before I put it on, and we'll go from there. So, be right back. Before we get started with that, though, I've just saw that the frets just need a little bit of a polish, and I've got my my little fret eraser here, and I'm just lightly, very lightly polishing these frets just to get them back to somewhat of mirror finish here with 1000 grit. I'll take another look at these and see if they're bad, if they're worse, if they maybe they've got some scratches, and then I'll bring out the sandpaper. But first we're going to just try this and see where we're at. Oh, that fretboard looks nice. Yeah, I think that got it nice and shiny. Looking good there. Alright. Well, I'm going to run and see if I can find myself a screw for this, and once I've found that screw to put this back together correctly, I'll get you back and we'll talk about putting strings on this thing and see how well we can get it set up. I'll be right back.